January is named after the Roman god Janus, who is often presented with two faces, one looking back to the past and the other forward into the future. Janus is the god of transitions, doorways, and new beginnings. This month, Libertarianism.org is assembling content considering the coming year and the one past. To start, here are 5 key libertarian wins in 2023. Number 5. Supreme Court rules against home equity theft. Our first entry on this list relates to a controversial practice in which a local government seizes and sells a property for unpaid taxes and then keeps all of the proceeds, even when the taxes owed are only a fraction of the value of the home. If that sounds like theft to you, you're not alone. This practice is commonly known as home equity theft, and it's distressingly common in many states. This unjust practice was finally ruled unconstitutional in the 2023 Supreme Court case, Tyler v. Hennepin County. The case centered around Geraldine Tyler, an elderly woman who lost her condo over a $15,000 tax debt. The government seized and sold her property for $40,000 and kept the entire sum, effectively stealing $25,000 from Geraldine. The case was brought to the Supreme Court by public interest law firm Pacific Legal Foundation. After a lengthy legal battle, the court ruled in a unanimous decision that home equity theft violates the taking clause of the Fifth Amendment. This ruling not only offered justice to Geraldine, but also set a precedent that will impact similar cases nationwide. It marks a crucial step in safeguarding homeowners' rights, ensuring that excess proceeds from tax-related property sales are rightfully returned to the original owners. Number 4. Gun Owners of America's victory in New York. In 2023, a notable libertarian victory was achieved in New York when Gun Owners of America secured a significant legal win against the state's Concealed Carry Improvement Act, or CCIA for short. This victory represents a staunch defense of Second Amendment rights as it challenges restrictive measures imposed by the act. The proposed regulations included excessive conditions, such as the establishment of additional gun-free zones, a ban on carrying guns in public transport and churches, and onerous requirements for obtaining a carry permit, like mandatory training and social media history disclosure. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit affirmed a federal injunction against key parts of it, notably the social media account disclosure requirement and restrictions on concealed carrying on private property. While not yet a complete victory, as some aspects of the Concealed Carry Improvement Act remain in effect, this legal success is a pivotal step towards upholding constitutional rights and sets a precedent for challenging overreaching gun control laws. Number 3. Supreme Court strikes down student loan forgiveness. In a pivotal 2023 decision, the Supreme Court struck down the proposed student loan forgiveness plan, marking a significant libertarian victory. This ruling championed the principles of personal responsibility and limited government intervention. The student loan forgiveness plan proposed by the Biden administration was essentially a plan to have taxpayers foot the bill for student loan repayments to the tune of over $400 billion. This would essentially punish those who didn't attend college, chose not to take out loans, or who already paid them back. The Cato Institute played a crucial role in this case, providing expert analysis and advocacy against the loan forgiveness plan. Their involvement highlighted concerns about the plan's legality and the broader implications for economic policy and individual liberty. Overall, the Supreme Court's decision, influenced by the Cato Institute's contributions, was a win for liberty, personal responsibility, and fiscal sanity. Number 2. The end of many COVID regulations. 2020. If there was ever a year to call awful from a libertarian perspective, that is certainly one of them. During that time, we saw the rise of draconian regulations on the federal, state, and local levels. Lockdowns, mandates, restrictions of all kinds. The flip side of that is that once those policies are removed, it counts as a pretty significant win for human liberty. In 2023, we finally saw the repeal of vaccination mandates for public employees, an end to the vaccination requirements for international travel, mask mandates on airplanes, the removal of CDC guidance on 6 feet of social distancing, and the end of the federal COVID-19 public health emergency declaration. While there are still holdover policies in place, like green card applicants being required to have the COVID-19 vaccine, it's safe to say that a lot of headway was made this past year in rolling back these overreaching, authoritarian policies. Number 1. Javier Milei winning the Argentinian presidential election. Javier Milei's triumph in the 2023 Argentinian presidential election represents a ray of hope for Argentina, following its long decline after some 80 years of state-led development. The country experienced a peak inflation rate of over 3,000% in the late 1980s, but continued irresponsible public spending has led to yet another episode of high inflation. Additionally, Argentina's standing in global GDP per capita rankings dramatically declined over the 20th century, from being among the top 10 wealthiest nations in the early 1900s to a position below the world's 50th by the century's end. Given this history, it doesn't seem surprising that the Argentinian people were ready for a dramatic change. Enter self-described libertarian presidential hopeful Javier Milei. Milei, an underdog in the election, received sharp criticisms from mainstream political voices for his radical policy positions and eccentric demeanor. His campaign, fueled by slogans championing liberty and criticizing the political class, resonated deeply with a populace wary of economic mismanagement. Milei's victory spurred crowds to form in the streets, chanting for liberty, marking a significant libertarian moment, not just for Argentina, but the whole world. As president, Milei has initiated bold reforms. He has lifted price controls, repealed much industrial policy, ended rent controls, repealed Buy Argentina laws, and facilitated the use of foreign currencies, among dozens of other reforms. He has also promised to close the central bank and dollarize the economy, and has presented a massive bill to Congress that would liberalize much of the Argentine economy. While libertarians should remain skeptical of politicians, President Milei's early tenure as the first libertarian head of state lends itself to optimism, as his policies thus far reflect a strong libertarian ethos. Right now, the future of libertarianism in Argentina looks bright. There you have it, the top 5 libertarian moments of 2023. Do you agree with our list? What important libertarian moments from 2023 would you have included? Feel free to share them below. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, Libertarianism.org is celebrating Liberty in Review Week, where we are taking a look at the past, present, and future of libertarianism. To stay up to date on Liberty in Review Week, you can visit our website, link in the description down below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it in the future, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time.